First, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. Before we get into the music and everything else, I got to ask again, where are you from?
I'm from Calgary, Alberta.
Okay, I'm just curious because as we speak today, the Raptors have a great chance in winning the NBA championship. I'm just curious, what's going on in Calgary? Are they cheering on the Raptors? Are they doing anything? Oh, I just saw you roll your eyes up and
No, all my friends are crazy about the Raptors, so it's over west too. We're really excited for Toronto.
I love it. I'm just curious, are they doing any Jurassic Parks up there too?
Oh yeah, they totally are. I saw that on Instagram. I didn't know what it meant, but I saw it. I saw it. That is happening in Calgary too.
Well, I love it. The fact that Canada is coming together and, cheering on the Raptors. Your music is doing the same thing too. It's bringing people together. It's giving awareness. I want to get into this because this is a really interesting kind of song that you're writing about. The subject that you're writing about too, and just the fact of being so young, but being very aware of what's going on around the world. Before we get into that, I want to ask you the love of music, though. When did that all start for you?
I've always been in love with music. My family has a super long history of being musicians on my dad's side, so he would always play classic rock growing up, and then my parents got me into playing instruments when I was really, really little, and I only started writing songs when I was about 10 or 11, but the second I started writing, I think that's when I fully got invested into it, when I was creating my own music instead of just doing covers or reenacting something someone had written a long time ago. So that's when I kind of fell in love with it at first, initially.
I'm just curious, what are the instruments that you can play?
I can play the piano, a little bit the guitar. I'm not great at it. And this weird thing called a Seagull Merlin. You hold it up. It's really skinny. It's a wooden instrument.
I've never heard. Wait. How did that become part of your repertoire?
I saw it at Long and McQuaid in Calgary, and I said I want that, and I want to learn it. So.
And how is it? I'm going to look this up after we're done.
Yeah.
So how is it progressing for you?
It's going well. It's kind of hard to learn an instrument that nobody really plays, but it's great.
Is there ever a chance that we might actually see you use that in a performance, maybe?
I hope so. I've written a couple songs on it, so yeah, I'm hoping to play with it at one point.
Oh, this will be cool. I'm going to learn something. That's what I love about music. It doesn't matter how old you are, there's always something that you can learn too. Mm-hmm. And something you've learned too. You talk about the love of music and everything, but you've become very aware of what's going on in our communities, going on with young people. When did this part all start? Because this leads into the song that you wrote.
Yeah. I think also that's always been around my family is a very, we're a close-knit group of people and we're incredibly political. I was always encouraged to have an opinion on everything. And so I've always wanted to educate myself on random things going on in the political climate. And then when social media started becoming a big part of my life, I felt so much more connected to a whole bunch of people around the world that were experiencing things that I couldn't even imagine experiencing, and it just has made me feel like I have to do something.
I'm just curious, though, before we get into the song itself, though, what's debating like in your family when maybe somebody doesn't agree with something?
We're always told to respect each other's opinions, but I am of French-Canadian descent, so it can get a little loud. But we always try and, be friendly about it, and we're always encouraged. My parents are lawyers, so they often play the devil's.
Lawyers, political, debating. You have to do a podcast one day so we can hear all of this. This would be amazing, and it probably explains why, again, that you're so aware of things. The single that you wrote, what's it called?
It's called Johnny Got His Gun.
Why did you write this song? And please explain what this song is about, because this is something that, which is really sad. Seems like every couple of weeks, watching the news, this subject seems to come up.
Yeah. Well, the song is about gun violence in the United States and in North America in general, too. We're not immune to it in Canada, but it's mostly about seeing kids my age dying from violence from guns. And for something that seems so foreign to a kid from Calgary, Alberta, it just broke my heart to see kids having to go to school terrified for their lives. You should be learning, not scared that you're going to be killed. And so the song is just a general cry for attention about, oh my God, like call to arms more for a problem that I think it's time we face and it's time we resolve. And it was really just inspired by seeing, like people my own age. I go to school and I think, I have a biology test today. Not is a kid gonna walk into my classroom with an semi-automatic rifle. So
It is a scary thing that's out there, and it's great that you wrote this song. I'm just curious though, in your community, has any of the political leaders heard this song yet, or has anybody in that level, have they said anything to you about writing this?
not really. I've mostly come into contact with other musicians that have said things about it, but I think the political leaders in my area are a little more preoccupied with other things, not with a song about gun violence.
Well, what about your friends though, and you're saying and other musicians, what are they saying about it?
My friends are super encouraging, and I think we all felt a huge, empathetic feeling towards all the other kids our age that are in the United States right now. So they're really supportive about it, and I think everyone's kind of backing up this message. So it's been a good result for the song in my area.
Curious too, did this just sort of come out one night, boom, you were just able to write this? Or did this take some thinking, and did you pick maybe certain stories from different subjects that, all lead to this?
Well, it was 2 nights. Yeah. The first time I wrote there's a section, the pre-chorus, that just repeats bang, bang over again, and then the bridge says, I'm never gonna love anyone like I loved you. And those I wrote after the shooting in the Pulse, in Orlando at the Pulse nightclub. And that's why in the bridge it says, I'm never going to love anyone like I loved you, feel the pulse. And so I wrote those 2 sections after that shooting, and those, I think, for me, are the most emotional sections. They're the parts that are the most raw, because I was crying while I wrote it. I was sitting at my piano and I was crying, and I just needed to get out some really sad feelings that I had, and a lot of empathy that I had. And then after, it was a big, conglomerate of how the Vegas shooting and the Parkland shooting had affected me, and then from those really big large scale shootings came the verses and the choruses, which are a little bit more they're less emotional, more I don't know, eloquent or something. Just more, it's more of an explanation for the more emotional parts, and that's where that came out. So it was 2 separate sections where I just banged out a song, and then I kind of put those 2 parts together, and that's how it came to life.
Do you remember performing it the first time in front of an audience?
Yeah, because it was my family sitting on the couch behind the piano. And after that, the first time I performed it was a fundraiser in order to record the song, actually. And when I originally wrote it, it was just me and the piano. There was nothing else. It's very stripped down, very raw. And there were tears. And so I knew that it had an impact on people that I kind of wanted it to have. I don't want to make anyone cry, but I want people to feel something from listening to the song.
Absolutely. Is this on Spotify now? Can we get this right now?
Yes, it's on Spotify and Apple Music and Google Play and all of the things.
Curious though, because of you've got such a strong song, are we going to hear more songs? Whether it be in that light or maybe something lighter or whatever else?
I hope so. I'm hoping at some point, I'm going into my first year of university.
Congratulations.
So I have a lot of things going on, but music is like a big passion of mine, and I want to keep doing it because it's important for me. So I'm hoping to release an EP that does have mostly political songs, because I'm a very opinionated political gal, but also a couple songs that are, teenage love songs. I'm 17, so gotta have some.
But before we go, though, if I could snap my fingers and say, and grant you any wish for the world, what would it be right now?
This is like a pageant. That we find a way to end climate change.
I love it. I love it. Hey, look, you know what? Anything that's going to do good for the world, I think, is extremely important. And what you've done is extremely important. Social media, where do we go to follow you so we know about new music or graduating from university, whatever is going on?
My Instagram handle is E.L.F Music, music spelled the French way. So E.L.F MUSIQUE. I can't spell today. And then it's the same thing on Twitter and the same thing on Facebook.
Thank you so much for writing such a great song, and thank you so much for doing this interview.
Thank you.